Hello folks, today I'm in Ithaca, New York, and what better way to start off the video than on the campus of Cornell University, one of the most supposedly elite college campuses in the entire country. So as late August approaches, it's move-in day for the students, and gee, there's a lot of students here going back to school. Now, I have no connection to the campus. I'm not a student. I'm not someone who teaches here. I have no affiliation with the school. But I thought it would be very cool to start off the video right here in a place I should never belong. Naturally, on a college campus, you want to flaunt off the amount of prestige you have. So what better way to do that than by having a giant building, not just one building, but an entire building complex all around. Naturally, there's trees blocking the way, but there are way more buildings than just this one. Now, because of this prestige, or maybe a correlation of the prestige, only about 10 to 15% of students who actually apply here to Cornell actually make it in. So if you make it into this, you're part of an elite class of students. Now I'm gonna get off this campus because I have no place being here. So, in my opinion, Ithaca is a very interesting place because it's a legitimate city, but it's also intertwined by a bunch of creeks and ponds and lakes and rivers that eventually lead into a giant lake, one of the Finger Lakes. And because of this, you can find in one part of the city many streets, many towns and neighborhoods, and maybe a block over you can find a big trail like the one I'm walking on that's quite long and secluded from the rest. But all I can see right now is a trail in front of me and a giant old creek right there. And it just seems like I'm in the middle of the woods, even though maybe a minute over there, there's a major road. Not to mention, there's the best part of Ithaca, in my opinion, the giant waterfalls and the giant gorges. It really makes Ithaca a really interesting place because there's so much to do, both in the town and the city, and in terms of just natural things to do, like go on a hike like I'm doing right now. And the path is starting to get real narrow. It's gonna be hard to walk in that. I find this a pretty fun stark contrast to point out. You see, here's the creek, nice and peaceful. Then when I turn around, just 180 degrees, there's this graffitied wall, part of a larger building. Wow, this trail seems to go on forever, as does the creek. But I promise you all, we'll find something amazing at the end. Pretty interesting to see that there's houses, there's people living here, right across from this creek. So the trail itself ends there, so I have to take an alternate route. A route I didn't expect to take, but I have no choice. We gotta go down there. Believe me, this is harder than it looks. My hands are getting all dirty. Part of the adventure. So now I basically have to just tread lightly across the rocks by the creek bed until I get to the destination I want to go to. This is it. Holy cow, that's a big waterfall. We've made it. So yeah, come to Ithaca. If for nothing else, the giant waterfall in front of me, even as I'm going past, the things that aren't the waterfall are still quite beautiful. I'm passing by some twisting trees right here. Seems to be a little grove with a bunch of rocks. Giant rocks, probably from just the water gushing through, I don't know, hundreds of years, thousands of years. I'm gonna see if I can cross this. That is not sturdy. Well, I made it. Oh, what am I doing? Just chilling. At the base of a cave. Right next to a giant waterfall. Just saying. If I pull this little thing, is this whole cave gonna come crumbling down on me? I sure hope not. Imagine climbing this thing, getting drenched as you try to find the nearest ledge to put your hand on. So, my shoes are soaked, but Rip Off Niagara Falls was really fun. Sorry, it's actually called Ithaca Falls, I understand. Ithaca's actually so famous for its gorges and creeks and waterfalls that people all over upstate New York have the t-shirt Ithaca is Gorge-ous, which is a, play on words. But yeah, here we go. Let's try to find downtown Ithaca and see what that has to offer. All right, I'm in downtown Ithaca, and it seems like an unexpectedly clean and friendly place. It doesn't have that city vibe. It has more of like a large, friendly, cooperative town vibe. Interesting. Now, Ithaca's a very, very liberal town. It's the one liberal island in a sea of conservative farm towns in upstate New York. So, if that's your perspective, if that's your mindset, Ithaca is for you. Being that Cornell is right next door, it only makes sense that this is almost like a college hipster town. So I've traveled as far north in Ithaca as you can go, and I've made it to Lake Cayuga. We've been to Lake Seneca, and this is the lake to the direct east of it, Lake Cayuga. If you look on a map, Lake Cayuga looks a lot like Lake Seneca. Almost indistinguishable. It's just that Lake Cayuga is a little bit eastward. As you can see, it's quite peaceful. Nothing but water for miles and miles that way. It's really nice that they set up a little boat marina, so people could sail out into the open blue and do whatever they want. And of course, this is a video, but it almost smells very salty, this lake. Now, I'm not sure if it's a saltwater lake or a freshwater lake. I'm pretty sure it's a freshwater, but it smells awful salty. After a long day of traveling, walking around different places, seeing different things, it's nice to just relax, take a seat, and just watch as the waves go by, sitting right by the lake shore. It's very peaceful. And there's a nice little dock. And of course it's quite windy because of the lake and its waves. Hey, there's some ducks over there. So, I thought this was a stable bridge, but it's not. It's going along with the tide. Up and down. It's a bit odd. Feels way too unstable for me to just walk up here. So we'll just leave it at that. So, fun trip. Standing atop from a very unstable dock. More travels to come. I'll see you at the next location.